Hey everyone, I hope you're taking it easy today and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be going through, hopefully, a unboxing and review of a Spider-Man brick set, which is 2 of 4 sets. Now the first set we looked at was Captain America, going through the listing, so this is the Spider-Man set. There are 2 more after this, and this is from the brand Zimo as part of their Super Heroes lineup. So it's basically off-brand Lego, which is okay. It actually doesn't look too bad. 80 pieces to build, so it's pretty much on par with a traditional Lego poly bag, I would say. In fact, it might even be a little bit more. But yeah, be interesting to see how this goes. And yes, with a bit of luck, it'll be an unboxing review and a time lapse. So a lot to get through. Front of the box with Spider-Man on what I would dare say is some type of spider slash arachnid mech. And surprisingly enough, it even has some twin launching projectiles. So an interesting little set for 80 pieces. Shot of Spider-Man. There's another shot of the set that we've seen from the front. So this is set number 2 of this little, I dare say, mini-series. Terms of the back, so same shot of this again. We've already had a look at the Captain America set as of this particular video. There's Thor left and Iron Man. So that's the outside of the box. In terms of what's inside, haven't done this in a while, but I did plan ahead. So we have the manual. So it's just basically an A5 piece of paper, front and back. In terms of general build steps and everything, it's on par with what you would get with a Lego set. And I also like how they include a parts list. So that is the brief manual. In terms of the bags, much like Captain America, there's the 2 bags. So we have one large bag with your larger pieces, and then one smaller bag with some of your smaller pieces. Now, much like Captain America, Spider-Man is oddly armless. Don't know how, don't know why. They must have an aversion to arms, which is weird because if you look at the instructions, the minifig is still put together like a traditional minifig. So everything seems to be together, it just has no arms. But fear not, the hands are in here, so you can see 2 red hands there, and in fact I see many hands, which is great. Where are your arms? Are your arms going to be black? Oh no, there they are. Right before my very eyes. They're in blue, so they're actually right there. So yes, all good. So now that we've had a quick look at basically the packaging, what's inside, I will move on to the time-lapse component. I will speed it up a little bit, so if you don't really want to watch it or worried that it will take forever, don't worry, I'll try and speed it up a bit so it doesn't seem as bad. Otherwise, I'll have the timestamps in the description if you want to skip to the review. Otherwise, let's see how this little set builds. Okay, so now after that fun little experience, so originally, since I was obviously recording it, that just took me shy of 13 minutes. Probably could have been a little bit quicker, but 13 minutes to do that actually isn't too bad, so there you go on that one. As for the finished product, it's actually not that bad. So having a look, so here is the, what I'll call the front, from the side, the back, the other side for the sake of completionist, top down, bottom up, and just a bit of a side angle. So in terms of build, as a off-brand Lego, everything is actually built pretty well. All the bricks came together quite nicely. Nothing feels overly loose. In the time lapse, may have noticed I just had to what's the word? The yellow rod that's inside, I just had to shift some of it back down so it actually keep these two pieces actually together. If you push it all the way in, what I found was it just didn't have enough of the rod to just keep it nice and secure, otherwise this bottom bit would fall off. But it's obviously a very interesting take on creating the back of the spider. We do have the two little projectiles, which I won't use whilst recording, but that's actually a nice little gimmick, especially for something of this size and this value. I do like the little detailing of the little mandibles with the silver pieces. It's quite nice. You can probably fix up some of that orientation later. And I will also say, in terms of the joints for the legs, all of them are quite sturdy. So the sockets, none of them feel overly loose either in this connection here or the one back to the main body, and that's for all 8, which is really good, because sometimes you build some of these, and especially with off-brand, you do sometimes get some of these ball sockets just not having a really strong grip, and then you have, unfortunately, a loose appendage. But in this case, all 8 legs are quite sturdy, and as you can maybe make out, the actual mech is standing on the 8 legs with no further assistance. But I'll try and take some better photos of this completed, and might even have a corresponding short. In terms of articulation, there isn't a lot other than what's in the legs. I won't go through all 8 legs, but each leg has 2 components of articulation. One is at the main body itself, which is just a ball socket, so you can pretty much go up and down. It can go around, given it's a ball socket. Can't really go front too much because of where the socket limitation is, but you can go up and down to work with that socket, so that's pretty good, and that's going to be the same for all 8. In terms of the second point, it's still this ball socket here, so you can go all the way around, do a nice 360, up and down, especially where that little socket area allows for that small recess, not so much side to side because of how that piece works. So for a spider, it's not too bad. I mean, you probably want more of the up and down, but because you also have 8 legs, it does give you a bit of flexibility on how to articulate the legs. And yeah, surprisingly, those legs are quite sturdy. In fact, they almost feel sturdier than some of the recent Predacon insects I've looked at with my Transformer unboxings. Just fix mix this up, since I've probably nudged that during the articulation test. And as mentioned, I won't go through all 8 legs, because once you've seen one leg, you've pretty much seen them all. But yeah, you'll have, obviously, each of these legs being able to do all sorts of things. So you could possibly become a little bit imaginative and maybe get it into some interesting attack type poses or defensive stances for a typical spider. Now, there's a little bit of movement here at the back, but I don't think that's supposed to be much. I won't go too much with the Spider-Man minifig because, off-brand or not, it's exactly the same thing. So I won't spend too much time on that. So I guess some of the strengths of the product: it was fairly inexpensive, fairly quick to build at 13 odd minutes. You could probably easily shift that down to less. Probably took me a little bit longer since I was doing a recording of the build. General look and aesthetic looks pretty good. The colors work quite well. It's very typical Spider-Man, so definitely works quite well. Even the detailing on the Spider-Man minifig is actually pretty good. I'll see if I have another Spider-Man minifig, maybe do a bit of a comparison between the two, see how they compare. The little gimmick with these 2 launchers is pretty nifty. Doesn't need to be there, but for something of this size, it's definitely appreciated. So yeah, I'd say surprisingly a pretty good little brick set. Weaknesses of the product: it's off-brand, so you won't see this everywhere. I was probably quite fortunate that I was just walking through a particular shop and saw them. So that is a bit of a weakness in the sense that because it's a non-official LEGO company, acquiring them will be difficult. It's a small set, hardly a weakness against it, so don't expect it to do too much for its size and value. But once again, it's not too bad. It's neither here or there. Just like LEGO, you have different sizes from small poly bags to large 20 bag sets, so once again, neither here or there. I didn't mention the articulation in the little antenna thing, well, not antenna things, the levers, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Overall, I'm actually quite impressed with this little set. It was a nice quick little build. As I said, stands quite well, so it'll definitely be worth having with the rest of the LEGO display. I'm sure from a distance it won't look any different from real branded LEGO, but if you were to look up close, you'll definitely start noticing that it's more of a generic brick set, but that's okay. Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to building the remaining ones, and who knows if I see more of these Zimo sets in the future. Depending what it is, I might grab a few more. So that brings us to the end of the... Gee, can you do a bit of a... This is probably not the time to do it, because now I'm just going to destroy everything whilst trying to do a bit of a fancy pose, and yeah, no. As I was trying to say before I rudely interrupted myself, that brings us to the end of the unboxing. I've suddenly forgotten the name. The building bit has a proper name, something I can't remember. And the review of this Spider-Man set from the Zimo Super Heroes range. Thank you very much for watching potentially bits of this video. Feel free to leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. All of this does help support the channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, link below. And as I hinted at, I'll do some extra photos and a little short for this completed set. So keep an eye for those as well. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in a future video, potentially another progressive build through. See ya.